Good morning from Austria, Graz. Today we are talking about the implementation process of artificial intelligence. Welcome to that session. At the moment we have about 11 participants, so we will wait a little bit to get more attendees. A short introduction, what will we do in the next 45 minutes? We will have two presentations. The first presentation will be on this change process in a view where we talk about innovation processes. How can we bring AI to the workplaces and also manage the organizational change? That's what I will present. After that, Jerry will also bring examples on that and how can you do that with tools. He has a special platform on that and you will see his experiences, what we can do in this implementation process of artificial intelligence. You are also invited to ask questions in the chat. The chat will be at the end of the session in the Q&A session that we will talk about your inputs, your experiences, and all what will come over the chat. So please, you are invited to bring in your ideas, your questions, and whatever you want. In the background, also Lena, she's also expert in innovation management at ISN, at my company, and she will manage the chat in the background. We have also Stefan from the Brutkasten in the loop. He's the organizer of the whole event here in the background, and the session is also recorded. So have a look on the amount of inhabitants. So 24. We had about 170 people who were booking this session. So we will see how much will really come today from different also locations in Europe. Yesterday, thanks for all who gave feedback for the two sessions we had in the Rathaus in Vienna yesterday. It was a real cool environment. We had two sessions on artificial intelligence. The first was how can you use AI tools for the empowerment of innovation. It was a very interesting feedback also from different participants. And the second one was also how can you have experiences with agents and what are the possibility to work with AI agents. It was also very interesting sessions. And so for today, we are not talking only about technology. We will more focus on this. How can you bring all of the different tools and platforms to your company and to really be aware that all of the employees are working with it? So that's what we will talk about today. So I will start my presentation and share my screen for you. And the first topic will be what can we do really on this change process? So what we created with our experiences in the last weeks and months is a 5-step implementation plan on that. It's powered from our knowledge of 25 years working in this area of innovation management. That's the background which we have. Innovation Service Network is a company located in Graz. We have different affiliates. Also in Germany with our shareholder RW TÜV. And what we also drive is a European Digital Innovation Hub, which is also the focus of AI implementation as a one-stop shop. And that's the background which we have. And today I have 4 topics which I want to discuss with you. First of all, I think the question is not so easy to describe and to answer. But why is AI important at the moment and why should you start immediately? So that's the first impulse which I want to bring to you. Then we have this 5-step success plan, which I want to give you an overview, what happens in the different steps. A part of it is the crowd innovation method in the background, which I can also show you what is the methodology behind. And then a little bit have a look in the future, what comes next, and Jerry will bring the examples also in his presentations. So what we see at the moment, there are different research works which you can see what is the power of AI, and I think this one is a very good overview. Here you see 2 topics. In almost any branch and any industry, AI will dominate the change process, and the trends are really at a very high level. What we see now also in this climate and green area, we will have a lot of drivers of innovation. So that's what we see at the moment. So AI will be on the workplaces, will change the business models, will change also the processes in the company and all of that stuff. So that's what we see at the moment. So we have to do something. The problem is in most of the companies, change is not on the topic every day. So what we see, there will also be a hurdle to bring all the brains in this direction to say, we use these new technologies to really work in another area, and maybe with a digital co-worker which helps you every day and infrequently. So that's the possibility and experience at the moment. What we also see in a lot of companies, some people are trying, of course, artificial intelligence in the private environment, and not in a way that we are really aware where are the prompts landing if you put it in a tool which is free. Yeah, normally it's landing in the American environment, which is maybe not so good for your company, because things which you do not want to talk with others will land in platforms from employees which are experimenting on this topic. So that's also an overview and a result which we see at the moment in the companies. If you have no change process, it will be a patchwork of different activities in the company, and the CEO doesn't know that the artificial intelligence tools are already on the workplaces, but not in that, I would say, also in that solution making, and also in a way that you can really have a common change, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 tools which are shared with others, and you share the experiences and all of that stuff. So that's why it is necessary to have a real project-oriented approach in the background. And what we also see, there are some mistakes also what could have been done at the beginning. The first of it, what we see at the moment, that AI is an IT project, and the IT department is responsible for that and nobody else. That's a stupid situation, which I really want to have not as the only change idea. I think you have to talk with all the peoples about use cases, applications, and all what has to be done. Then also what we see, a company is booking accounts, of course not for all employees, because it's maybe an expensive experiment on that. And the middle management has to decide who is the one who have the possibility to use the artificial intelligence tools. That's is also what we see. So sorry. And of course, the third thing what we see here is that some people fear doing something wrong because of the legal aspect. We have this AI Act in Europe, where also a lot of things which you should take into account has to be done. And so we are not talking about new opportunities. We are talking about the fear what can go wrong. So that's the current situation. What can we do to make it better? What we do, we see an organization in 2 forms of operating systems, organizational concepts in the background. On one side, we have the hierarchy, and in another area, we have the network. In the hierarchy, you have to decide what's the step forward and what are the resources which you want to bring in to really mobilize all of this AI power which we have now in the tools. So on the network area, I think we have the opportunity to work with all of the brains in the company in this area of change and creativity for use cases and all of that stuff. So you have to use both organizational forms, from top down and bottom up in the network, to have a real change project that works efficient and also at the end with a good result for your company. So that's the approach what we drive. What we see, what you have to also think about in the change process is we have 3 different levels of change, which you should also be aware. The first one And I think that's a real stupid situation. I've never seen so much change in a short time slot. Technology is changing every day. I would say you have new apps, new opportunities, the large language models in a new area, and so on. So all the different things which you can use will be very flexible tools, but the platforms and tools are changing in a high frequency. So the idea of that is that you are maybe in this first time slot to change or to go one step forward to use the tools. You are deciding maybe for tools which are flexible, or you are not only on one tool which is fixed for the next years. I think you have to have the flexibility to also react on that technology booster which we see at the moment. On a second layer and the employee side, you have to learn, of course. People have to learn what are the tools able to do, what is the creative process in the background for use cases, where can you implement it? Is it the interaction with customers? Is it a new area in sales? Or is it something which you use in the innovation management area or for logistics? So I think 20 years ago, we were modeling a lot of business processes. Now we can modeling the technical agents in the background which are working in the processes, and you have a coworker which can help you to be more efficient. That's the great thing, but you have to learn how to use that. That's I can give you an idea on that, what we did at ISN last year. We booked the platform, and any employee had also the task to think about how can he integrate this new tools in his workplace. So that's what was the beginning. And then we had the challenge that all of the different employees were talking about what is your work coworker and how can we formulate agents and all of that stuff. So it was a collective change process and also a collective innovation process to talk about the ideas. And that empowered all the different areas to think about how can we reformulate our processes and really use that in our organization. And the third layer, what we see, the organizational change, that's the difficult one. That needs 2, 3 or more years to change the culture, the processes, and the business models. So I think that's also a really let's say focus on that. How can we use this dynamic in the first layer in the technology to support the organizational change? But that takes longer, and that's also what you have to take into account if you start with artificial intelligence implementation. That you really also have a view not only on the daily tasks. You should also think about how can you change your business model and how can you really have new services and products on air with your customers. So that's what we see. So that is the view on our process model. We have a 5-step implementation plan. It starts with online trainings, of course, and onboarding, because we have to give the employees the knowledge about these tools. Otherwise, we cannot be creative and think about the use cases. So that's the first step. And in this first step, we also see we have the artificial intelligence area with the tools and a lot of things you can do, but the human is in the loop. That's also a very first and really clear message to all of the employees. If we start with such a process, we do not want to have at the end only AI agents in the company. The humans have to learn to work with these AI tools. So we have these both areas which we also have to integrate in the change process. And we'll not go into the details, but I think in the creativity area, the humans are the most important and the real driver of the process. On the other side, if you have a lot of data which you have to recognize and find out patterns from data spaces or something else, of course, the AI is better. So that's also a decision-making process where can you have the right AI tools and agents which you want to use. Also for the management, especially for the top management, you will have also in the change process, you will have failures on the air, and you should make that very early, I think, because then it's not so cost intensively. And that's also in this area of top management, of course, is the role model also for using these tools in your company. So If you say, no, I'm again on the fax machine and my employees should work with AI, I think that will not work. So we have also a cultural change, which we have on the agenda. In the second step of our process, we have workshops on the crowd innovation method, and we are also setting up an idea challenge because at the beginning, if you have the knowledge about what can AI do, we are talking about use cases. That's the first step. So the crowd innovation method delivers a 4-step interaction on a digital platform. The idea in the background is that any employee can bring in his ideas and also ideas for the use cases. What you also should take into account, not any employee is waiting for AI. A lot of people will have fear to lose their job because AI is replacing some things. Yeah, so that's also what you have taken into account. So it's really important to talk with all the people and give them the opportunity to bring all of that hurdles and ideas on the workplace, on the platform, in the right position, that you can talk about that, have a learning process, have creative process, and all of the things. In the end, the innovation is that you accept new tools on your workplace and you will bring your company on the next business level. That's the opportunity which we see with these AI opportunities, and I think the process must be moderate, very professional in this. So what we do is not if you collect idea, we do not have a process where any employee has a paper where you put some ideas and put it in a box and nobody can see it. No, we have a transparent learning process on a digital platform which we use, that anybody can bring in ideas. You can reflect on that. You can have feedback loops and all of the things. And that's what you see. We have also distraction in the process, and we come one step further in the next step, and we use the tools and we experiment with it, and we make the failures very first in the first level, and then in the next level we have a stable situation. So that's a real innovation process with creativity, with change, and all of that stuff. In the third year workshop, we talk about the challenges. What is the research field which we want to have first? Yeah? Is it all of the different processes in the companies, or have a special environment we want to have a first experiences with AI tools, or what else? Then we start an idea initiative, and at the end of the day we will have results. I show you an example. We had a challenge in a company, and at the end we had 32 ideas which was brought in from the employees. Then we had with AI a clustering environment, and we had some feedbacks. We identified 7 different clusters where AI could work. And after that, we had also a decision-making process where the employees had the opportunities to find out what are the most important use cases and the ideas which we could realize. But we also asked the AI experts, because we do not have the knowledge, of course, at any brain in the company. So we need the expert view also what can be realized with technology. Here we will see in the next slot with Jerry what is possible. So at the end, we had on the one side this use case ranking, and on the other side, we talked about the AI strategy for the company. So that's the result of this third workshop. And after that, you will have to do that what Jerry will bring in this presentation. That is the first implementation, and you have not the whole company in the loop for that, but you should have an area where say, okay, if we solve that problem with AI in this area, a lot of people are really in a successful mode and can use that knowledge in this own work environment. So the workplaces will change, the job profiles will change, and the idea of this process is to find out where you should you have the focus at the beginning, that you have a lot of people who can also be in the loop for this change process and have a new opportunity to have a maybe less job intensive things where you have to do tasks which are not so impressing every day. So a lot of data to handle, or things which maybe could be done also better from a machine side. So that's could be a first idea to go one step further. But also, I think, the area of innovation, that you find new ideas for business model and something else. So also this creative process could be supported. So it's a little bit what happens in the company at the moment, where are the pain points, or where are the chances for the future, what will come out in this step. So finalizing that, at ISN, our company, we have also the possibility to support you with one of these European digital innovation hubs, which we drive with 169 in Europe. We can also manage this process for you. So if you're interested, you can have contact with us. We can manage this process from the ideation phase to the first prototyping of AI implementation for free, because the European Digital Innovation Hubs are covered from grants from the European Commission, DG Connect, and on the other side in Austria from the Ministry of Labor and Economy. So that's a great opportunity. Have a look on that. And you will find 169 of these hubs in Europe. So if you are from other countries, you should have also the opportunity to use that infrastructure and services in your country. Summary for us, I think the pace will change a lot in the next time. So enjoy the speed. That's maybe the only thing you can do. AI is was coming to be here and to stay. So you should have also a look on that. What can you do with that, and how can you manage the change in your company? The AI tools will massively change the jobs and the business models. So work on your own strategy. It's I think the right time to experiment and make the first mistakes is now. And also we will learn a lot on that. So thank you for listening. So I will hand over now to Jerry. We will have a second presentation, and then at the end, we will look at the chat and talk about what can happen in the next step. So Jerry, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thanks, Reinhard. So hello to everybody. I'm just starting to share my screen here. Just a second. So I think you see me with a bright background now. Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks. So my name is Jeremias Fuchs, or my short name is Jerry. So everybody, you can call me Jerry. You will also find me on LinkedIn with Jerry Fuchs. I'm one of the co-founders of Local Mind AI. We are a company based in Innsbruck, Austria, with nearly a decade of experience in artificial intelligence. And our core mission is to help organizations, I would say, take ownership of their AI. So the motto, own your AI. With Local Mind, companies can train a wide range of AI models for specific tasks using their own data and tailored to their own processes. And it doesn't matter if you want to use it on different cloud methods or cloud AI models, or as fully local on your own on-premise infrastructure. Yeah, we step in when a company is facing challenges that can be addressed through AI-driven solutions. So the company already identified the use cases with, for example, what we see from Reinhard, the crowd innovation method, or other ways how you can find the use cases. So how does a real world implementation works now from the problems to the AI solution? I will go with you deeper in that. First, the key decision makers in the organizations, they need to gain an understanding of how the AI market and the tools works, so that you know what is working and what not. Here, I just bring you a short market overview, and you see here on the left side, you see the general purpose chat tools, like, everybody knows it, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and so on. On the other hand, you have the opportunity to use some systems like modular automation systems, Zapier, Power Automate, and Make. You can build workflows with it. And then you have all the integrated AI features in existing software. For example, Notion has its own AI there. You have the Copilot from Microsoft, and you have specialized AI tools. On the right side, you see here Perplexity. Maybe some of you knows it. It's really good for researching. You have Firefly CIs for transcribing meetings. And these are really just built for a special purpose. And that are, I would say, the most important 4 different tools you can use on the market. And on the next slide, it's essential to clarify or define the capabilities and limitations of the tools we will use now. So we will walk now together in this process what the LocalMind software, for example, can do here and can help to bring the use cases to life. Our definition for that is that the key to effective business process automations with AI is always a hybrid system. So what we're meaning with that, it's a combination of AI agents from these generalistic chat tools, plus together with semi-autonomous AI workflows, and always the ability for humans to intervene and to control the system. And if we're looking into that, what I'm meaning with that, so we typically evaluate our 3 main options, and we are starting here with the agents. So some of you knows agents here, and we call agents coworker because we work together with them. I brought you here a short demonstration video that you just see how does an agent work in the AI world. We have here, it's like a sales agent, and the sales agent, you see here the capabilities, what it can do for us. It's first checking if that's entering a new client into our customer relationship management. If we need some contact details, we can research it in the web, or we can also check if a customer is already in the customer relationship management or a lead, for example. And I can now use my system or my software system, my CRM in the background within this chat interface because I integrated it with the agent. So how does it work? I'm asking, is the company, sorry here. So I'm having technical issues here. So, and you see here, I'm asking, is there a company Weber & Co. KG? Is it in the CRM already? Sorry again. Okay. And what happens now, we see, okay, the agent decided to use a skill to look into the software for us and says, okay, I'm just making a request, and it just bringing down the information. It says, okay, is it there? And yeah, it's there. And we also have a suggestion how to communicate with the client. Another agent, just as we had an understanding about it, is like a report expert. We don't give them any capabilities of other software. We just train them with our own data. For example, here we have the sustainability reports from the ASFINAG. We trained the AI with this data, and now we're asking it, for example, who are the stakeholder of the ASFINAG. This data will not come now from the AI model. The AI model will search into our database and says here, okay, as a result, they are really fast, the videos here. And you see here, as a result, we get the answer, plus we get here as a source, we have here the original file where the AI gets this data from. And how do you build these agents? It's quite simple. You can say, okay, which user groups, for example, who can use the system. And you say here on that step, you just instruct the AI model. It's typically a system prompt. Maybe some of you working with GPTs on OpenAI, they work similar. Here you see the system prompt, what we said here, okay, you're just checking these documents. And on the second part, you see here, you can also add data to the AI, and you can add some of the skills like other software tools, what I showed you before with the sales coworker. So that's, I would say, the first pillar of how you can work with LocalMind in the AI space. The second one here are our AI workflows. What we are doing here, we are just putting all these agents. We are not waiting for a chat of it so that we are using them in a chat. We are putting them into a whole like digital process twin. And we see here there is an email classifier agent. We see here there is an information extractor, and there is like a support coworker trained with our data. So what happens here now? The AI is listening until a new email arrives via our Outlook integration, and it enters then the email, put it into our database, and then we have two ways. We first classify the email if it's here for support tickets. So we add it to the AI model, classified support level 1, 2, or 3. If it's support level 1 and we have this information also in our documentation, we try to solve the problem with AI and adding a draft for the support employee here. If it's second level 2 and 3, we directly, the AI directly redirects the request to another team. And on the next line here, you see we also want to extract the information and bring it into a PDF for a better reporting, that we know what were the problems for the software. And how does it run through? Email comes in, adding, classifying here, and you see all the steps, what are happening here, as to transparency, how it works here. And that are the workflows. And on the third level, we also can combine these three. So that means we have here, you see here the chat interface, and you see here an workflow. And they have a special interface. What I'm showing you here is like a business report creator. So that means I can add some data in it, and a business report will be created. What I'm typing here now, you see here, I'm adding all the information, like normally the Handelsregisterauszug. You also see my finance statements here, a checklist, the business case. I'm just adding it there and say, okay, I need a quarterly investor relationship report, for example. What happens here, in the background, this dedicated workflow is making the work for me. You see here different agents. You also have here, you have here like the structure agent who is bringing this document into one structure. You will then can export it to JSON or bring it into a JSON format, and you go on like that. Let's have a look. AI just check the data here, find it, and afterwards you see the report was generated, and now here we are getting the report as a Word document to work with it. So, and next to that, I think it's important, you all know the EU AI Act. So beside that, it's really, beside the normal software parts, the use cases, it's really important to check how user will get access to the system, so that only the right teams see their documents, and not trained users, for example, only can use the system, but not can edit or train the AI system. And last but not least, I think it's really important into the third phase. So we have the use case, we saw the software, we have a market overview. The third important phase is to identifying the concrete AI automation opportunities for our problems, and start with the implementation process. But it's always the question, with whom do you start that process? And so also what Reinhard told us before, these are really important points. I just want to tell you here again, and that our key success factors are not just the software, they are also about the human resources. Like, for example, you really need a clear responsibility, for example, appointing an AI manager. But don't leave it solely to the IT, involve relevant departments early on. Nearly everybody needs to be involved. And it's also essential to build a company-wide acceptance through small and really fast to implement use cases, and not just the larger use cases. For example, we say a larger use case requires over 80 hours of implementation time. And if you want to do that, it should be really clearly scoped and defined that it will not face any issues there. Yeah, and what I want to show you now are some achievements we did with our customers. I will change here my screen now and start live demonstration here and show you two use cases. So okay, so we are in our software now, and you saw it from the videos, but yeah, it's just the normal software. Here in this sidebar, you can select the different menus. And what I want to show you now are use case number one we did for a big food distribution cooperative, and it's about monitoring different prices and changes to global food prices. How did we do that? So you see the methods we have now. We have agents, we have workflows, and we have the combination. We decided to make a workflow here. And we will check here now into our background workflows. It's my demonstration instance here. And we are looking here now. It's called here the Rohstoff Research Automation. So yeah, it's like a food research automation for specific food types we want to check here. The problem there was they faced that two employees were manually monitoring the various data sources. So what did they track? They track maybe shortages, for example, droughts, pricing trends. And why did they do it? Because they wanted to make timely bulk orders. That was their job. And we digitalized this manual process through our digital process twin, I would say so. And what is this workflow doing? You see here different, so it's always waiting for, it has a trigger. For example, this one is now, I think, 2 times a week, they're getting a big report of the different prices. And you see here different resources. All these resources got aggregated, and the resource coming from, for example, Google News and also from trade journals. And when it got aggregated, we summarize it here. You see here the different agents again. We have one which is analyzing and validating the trends. We have here the article summarizer converter, putting all this data together. We have here a formatting agent. It looks complex, build that for that, but I think it's really the normal way how you can use this process. And you also have here like a reporting agent. So afterwards, it's started to create a PDF report for it and making an executive summary and sending it via mail to the right person. The result of that was 20 hours savings per week and an optimized ordering decision for that. And maybe a second case, you saw one before, the business report generator. That was something we built for the for automotive manufacturer. They wanted to automate the reporting process. We don't have the results there. About 80% of the business reports are automated, but only in specific reports. So especially under the C level, works very good. Above that, I think the types of reports are not always the same, and if they are have a completely different structure, you may need to put some things here manually. And what I wanted to show you here now is a smaller case. This one is one of the bigger ones. I think for such an implementation, you need about 120, 160 hours because you have to build it. You also have to evaluate it. We have something smaller that's here, for example, the grammar checker. And what I can do with the grammar checker, it's used for so we build it, and it's used especially from a German city. They use this checker 10,000 times only in this year. And what does it do? You can ask different things here. So I can upload here, for example, I'm uploading here a checklist. And I can ask, for example, is everything correctly gendered? Are there any grammatic mistakes in it? I'm asking it, I'm doing it in German now. So I'm asking, are there any mistakes in the document? And what happens now? It starts in the background, again, the workflow and checking all the different pages. Said, okay, these are 8 different pages. Said, okay, founded 2 points. Musterstraße is spelled wrong here. And we see here the other parts, it's June and July can be changed. What can you do here? You can download it with the changes as a PDF or as a Word again, or you can make your edits by yourself if you want to do that. So yeah, now it's your turn. If you want to try anything on our platform, just let me know. You can also write us afterwards, but we are here now for a Q&A session to talk about your AI implementation process. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you, Jerry. So Lena, we should have a look at the chat. Are there some questions from the audience?
Yes, there's one question in the Q&A. Is this, I think to Jerry, is this demo workflow a black box in the user, or are there any options to verify, track, and if necessary, correct what was going on? Example given, there are different assignment levels depending on the nature of the incoming email. If for some reason the issue is assigned to the wrong case handler, what happens respectively? How can find out about that?
Absolutely. So I think in AI, it's everybody is about everything is about transparency, because the AI models itself, they are a black box. I think a lot of good teams working on that we understand how the AI model will make decisions. The problem is we don't have any solutions for that nowadays. With a workflow, it's nice because it's just you're building this flow with software. And on software code, you see you see not the decisions, but you see the process and you can track it. So what I did not show you there, you can write me afterwards, for example, if you want, and you can see the statistics. So you see every chat, every conversation, every step into it, and you can evaluate it and then train it again. What happens if you really, if the AI decided to redirect the mail to the wrong person, for example? We always have the human in the loop. I think that's the only answer nowadays, how you work nowadays with AI, because we are, I think, far away from an all general artificial intelligence. Always this AGI we hear. So we can just make it with straight software code and then the transparency to see how the process worked. And afterwards, we can also train it again.
Okay, so are there other questions? We have 2 minutes left to interact with the audience.
Yes, there's one question. Jerry, on what model is that based? How to upgrade to new models once they came out?
What I showed you now, it's an open source model. We are running it, the two clients, they have it on premise in their own infrastructure. These are Llama models, I think the Llama 3.1 model. And how can you update them? That's really easy because the software and the AI models are on different servers. So that means if you want to use here now a cloud model, for example, the new Claude model or the ChatGPT model, and for this case, you want to use an on-premise AI model in your own infrastructure, you can just select them via drop-down. That's nice. In the AI world, we all decided to have the same API standards, so it doesn't matter if it's on-premise or a cloud model. You can just select them, and also if you edit the data, I think there is a second question. Does that get trained on all document in a DMS or file system? Yeah, it's a database behind it. So if you train the AI will generate a database in the software. So that means if you're changing the AI, the database is still here. And it's like a vector DB. It's called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's one of the, I think, most common methods there. It's RAG and knowledge graphs. Otherwise, if you really want to train the AI model, you often try to avoid it because then you have not the chance to change the models. So that's why we always training AI models via software, and that we can change them again and not train the AI model itself.
Okay. So I think we are on the end of the session. Thanks for our interaction. Thanks to Jerry for the insights. Last comment from my side. I think it's not a good strategy to wait for something now. What we see at the moment, if you dive into these tools and also dive into this change process with your employees or in your company with different people and talk about that, you will learn a lot. And I think that's the right strategy at the moment. You will have failures at the beginning, but you will also see what is the power of these tools. And I've never seen in a I would say, view of innovation such a powerful tool environment and a toolbox which we have now on the workplace and in the company. So be aware of that and think about what can you change in your company in this area of process automation is one area, but also think about new business models, new opportunities to have new services and products for your customers. Also, the interaction process with the customer can change. So that's a lot of things you can do, and the opportunities start now. Have fun on that. Have fun on the speed, which we will get in the next time. So thanks for attending our session. I think in the conference we have a short break, and then the next step will be at 10 o'clock with 4 different slots. So thank you for listening, and have a lot of fun with AI tools and all of the change, I would say, problems, but also with at the end of the day, with the results which you will get. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.